At the start of September, we had a low rate of coronavirus infection in our country. However, since then, infections have shot up so that 10 times as many people are now infected. University students returned mid-September, and over the 3 weeks following that, infections went up 4 times. The measures taken have now begun to slow the rate amongst university students. However, the number of secondary pupils who have coronavirus has been less in the news. At the start of September, they had the lowest infection rate of any age group, but by the end of that month, the rate had increased 15 times. A fortnight later, that had gone up to 23 times, and just 8 days after that, it stood at 50 times the rate at the start of September. The rate in primary schools had gone up by nearly 10 times. Increasing infection rates have consequences. At the start of September, almost 90% of pupils were in school, but as the rate of infection increased, attendance fell, particularly in secondary schools. By the end of the month, 1 in 7 pupils were absent. Then the Department for Education changed its advice and told schools that if a child in a bubble caught coronavirus, pupils should only self-isolate if they sat closest to them. Stripping back that safety measure did push attendance back up, but by half-term, almost 1 in 5 pupils were absent from secondary school because the virus had spread so widely. And in the northwest, because of the very high level of infections, attendance was even lower. In Knowsley, 2 in every 5 secondary pupils were absent in that week. We have reached a crisis point. Either we seek to get the coronavirus under control in schools, or there'll be widespread disruption because so many children will have to be sent home. We need a plan and investment to keep the virus under control. We need schools to be prioritised for rapid testing, including of asymptomatic staff and pupils. Mask wearing must become much more prevalent. We need investment to bring down class sizes and increase social distancing, to pay for additional cleaning and for the cover of sick staff. We need rotas to be established in sixth form and secondary settings at least, where students are taught every lesson, but are at home some of the time. We need the government to actually fulfil its promise to deliver broadband and laptops to children who need them. And we need the most vulnerable staff to be allowed to make their contribution working from home. Including schools in the lockdown would make all of this more effective, but these steps will be just all the more urgent if that doesn't happen. At the moment, secondary schools are centres of viral transmission, and we need to halt this if we want to stop COVID-19 spreading to their parents, and if we want schools to be sustainably open for the remainder of this pandemic. As a union of teachers, school leaders and support staff, we are committed to education. We want this lockdown to work. But if we are to win the battle with COVID-19, we need this government to look after schools and to keep them safe.